When a person feels alienated or useless, they will construct an attention-seeking facade as a desperate cry to be noticed, valued, and loved. A person's identity had always been about displaying their usefulness to the people with whom they survive. What happened? Is what we're seeing today a problem, or is it just the symptom? If Einstein is correct, then we can't solve a problem using the same thinking that created it. So we'll need to locate the thinking that preceded it. But before we do, let's calibrate the old critical thinking lens. We'll use 2 questions and 1 allegory. Question number 1. What's the difference between a nation and a free nation? The simple answer: personal responsibility. The moment a free people become an irresponsible people, the chaos ensues and living at gunpoint becomes inevitable. Question number 2. What ignites a young person's desire toward holding the family, community, and nation together? Answer: care. When a child is given a life-affirming reason to care, the child will want to do their part in helping hold the fabric of reality together. Here's the allegory. This is an acorn. It contains information that's millions of years old, and when the acorn is fed properly, it grows into exactly what its genes aspire to: an oak, not an alligator and not a peach tree. By growing as it was designed, the oak becomes useful in doing its part in Earth's story. But if the acorn is deprived of what it needs, the subsequent imbalance will prevent it from doing its part. The woke were deprived of life's essentials. If we deprive our kids of the essentials, wokeness is what happens. Fixing this cultural problem is in the hands of parents, not politicians. Politicians can support our efforts, but the fight is ours. We must make sure our kids are given the essentials. For those of you who want to come along for the ride, let's do a visualization. Take a deep breath, then close your eyes. Imagine yourself as a child, maybe 7 years old. Imagine standing in your favorite forest or in view of your favorite lake, garden, or stream. It can be any natural setting. Try to recall the fragrance in the air and what the air felt like on your skin. Now imagine that in your right hand is an acorn. Your hand is closed. You'll hold that acorn throughout our brief 3-part voyage. Part 1. What's the feeling of being part of a family who prepares meals together, who shares in maintaining a clean home, who shares in building things, fixing things, tracking finances, storytelling, and celebrating holidays and traditions? What is the feeling of being part of a family where each of you is recognized for your special abilities in serving the family's needs? What is the feeling of being part of a family eager to teach you life's necessary skills, a family who makes sure that you always know how to succeed? What is the feeling of being part of a family where you're in control of the love you receive, where your eagerness to contribute produces the trust and the love you desire? What is the feeling of being part of a family happy that you've joined them, a family where their every success is shared and their every disappointment brings you closer together? Now, I'll remind you of the acorn in your hand. It too has a use, but it can only become useful if it receives what it needs. Its potential is that of an oak and not of anything else. Same as with a child. Give the child what he needs and he becomes what he was designed to become. The acorn is most useful if the acorn becomes an oak. If it stays an acorn, it becomes food for a squirrel. Which do you prefer for your children? Part 2. What is the feeling of being part of a family for whom the natural landscape is a place of initiation and communion? What is the feeling of being part of a family for whom the landscape is an ancestor that without you would not exist? And as you receive that gift, you fall in love with life itself, so that from here forward, you live to pay back a debt of your gratitude to the ones upon whose shoulders you stand. What is the feeling of being part of a family who asks you to search the landscape for even one living organism, one plant, one creature, or one living cell that is out of place, that doesn't work as it should, that doesn't do its job or want to do its job? And when you can't find any such thing, you smile. Look inwardly at your own body. How many living cells make up your body? How many are confused about what their job is? None. How many living things must live their story only so you can live yours? And here you realize that both your body and the world in which you live are perfectly designed and are therefore good. Now, feel the acorn in your hand. That acorn contains all the information it needs so it can do its job. As it grows into an oak, it becomes part of the great living symphony of life. Is there anything inside of that acorn that doesn't work as designed? It is a gift from your ancestors. It is your ancestor. Let it be a reminder that you don't need to seek or create a world that works or a world that is good. You're already in one. If you can hear its song, then you know exactly how to sing along. Part 3. What is the feeling of being part of a family who has given you the greatest gift to be given a child? A family who has given you a story that makes you want to participate in holding the family, community, and nation together. What is the feeling of being part of a family whose carefully preserved story is like the acorn? It contains the timeless information that reveals your crucial role in Earth's magnificent story. What is the feeling of being part of a family whose story opens your heart and fills you with love? A family whose story's fragrance is a sacred substance, the glue that holds you, your family, your community, and your nation together. What is the feeling of being part of a family who carefully places their lineage's life-giving narrative in your hands? What is the feeling of being part of a family whose story inspires you to have children of your own, just so yours will receive this gift? Now, feel the acorn in your hand. Its future is contained within its past. The acorn knows that a future worth having is made of a past worth remembering. The acorn contains a story. As that story begins to sprout, it inspires you to do your part in Earth's story. Now open your eyes. Go and find an acorn and keep it close to you as a reminder of your part in Earth's story. Include your children in a story that's worth participating in. The most dangerous thing in the world is a person born without access to their story. A worthy story is every child's birthright. Being deprived of a story is how addicts and the woke are made. Without a birthright story, our DNA is not only made worthless, but is dangerous to all life on Earth. Liberty is for those with deep roots, those who act responsibly, those who care, those whose story will give the next generation a reason to participate in holding the family, the community, and the nation together. That story is the fire, and you are the firekeeper. To save America, each of us will need to build a fire that turns a house into a home. Ending it here, I'm Dio Lyons. This is American Firekeeper.